Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon-free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well, then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. So as entrepreneurs, we always get this advice that we need to know our numbers, right? Know your numbers, know your numbers. And I think that how we interpret that can definitely vary from person to person. And when we're talking about knowing your numbers, it's not memorizing your exact numbers. You know, it's not like the episode of The Profit when Marcus Lemonis comes in and says, hey, what's your cost of goods sold? What's your margin? Yes, we should know some of these things, especially in a product business. But I want to talk today about the three different areas, really three different dimensions of where you should be focusing your attention if you're looking to get to know your numbers a bit better and to start using them in your business to your advantage. So it's really not enough to just categorize your transactions in QuickBooks. I think that a lot of folks assume that getting to know your numbers really is getting QuickBooks, making sure you're going in, you're allocating your transactions every month. Maybe you're reconciling your bank statement and you're like, cool, box checked, I'm done, I'm doing my numbers. It doesn't really mean, though, that you have any ownership or mastery of what those things are telling you. In fact, as a business owner, you shouldn't even be worrying about the QuickBooks. You should be hiring that out from a professional, I think, and having an expert in there to basically maintain it for you so that you can then focus on what those numbers are actually telling you. What if instead of an hour to a month that you're spending on getting your stuff organized in QuickBooks and putting in the right categories, you spent those hours actually using that data and comparing it to historical trends, industry data, or even your own budgets and projections? What if instead of just maintaining the data, you were making decisions? So if you're a business owner who is in growth mode and you're trying to scale, this attitude is imperative. You need to be thinking about your numbers, not in terms of checking the box, but in what is going to drive you forward. Now, let's talk about the three focus areas that we use at Financial Solutions where we apply these numbers for your business. Now, I'm going to go through these three with you. Understand, I'm giving away my secret sauce right now. This is what we do in our CFO reports. These are the dimensions that we'll be looking at your business through. And I'm going to peel back the curtain and let you know this is what we do. So let's go through each one. The first one is performance. Performance means how is your business doing financially overall? Consider this like if we're comparing this to a health journey or a body, these are your vital signs. These are the core metrics that show like you have a beating heart and you're getting enough sleep. You know, this is your tracker, right? We're making sure that we're tracking your performance and that you are, you know, you're alive, that you're profitable. We want to make sure that you're performing well financially, which is the first layer of everything. And a lot of people stop here, honestly. A lot of people stop at performance and say, I'm profitable, I'm done, right? And that is just the first layer that we look at. Are you profitable? Are you keeping a good cash flow? Are you healthy, right? We have blood flow. Is everything good? Are your offers priced properly? Are you collecting payments on time? We want to look at all these different risks that could be present in your business and be able to advise on how to mitigate those risks. So it's kind of like an overall assessment of your business's financial health with regard to all of these different things. And performance is really the first base layer. Like you have to have performance in order to elevate your business. You know, you need to be able to, let's talk about health and fitness one more time. You need to be able to do a basic plank, or you need to be able to run a mile to compete in an Ironman or to compete in a Spartan race, right? You need to have certain health to be able to show up and perform your best. So that is where we focus in performance. If you're an accountant or tax pro, you know by now that advisory services are the most high value and high impact way to serve your clients. But you may be wondering how to get into the advisory space and questioning your own abilities, skills, and credibility. Hey, we all do it. How do I know that? Because I got in the room with dozens of other fractional CFOs, and I realized that I'm not alone in questioning my own ability to serve. Not only did I realize there was a community of other people just like me, but this community helped reassure me that I was on the right path to building the firm I dreamt of. Getting in the room with your peers and mentors is a fast track to growth. One of these rooms is the CFO Accelerator Live. Over 3 days from May 16th to 18th, Michael Kang and his team of trainers and speakers will be teaching everything from leadership to technical skills and how to show up as a CEO in your firm. Michael is one of my mentors who helped me take my practice into the multiple six figures and beyond, and you will not want to miss this. Check out the link in the show notes for more information on the event and a special discount code for Keep What You Earn listeners. I'll see you there. The next area is compliance, which sounds like the most boring one of the three, to be honest. And compliance is really the box checking. Compliance is the area where, we look at, are you paying your estimated taxes? Are you paying yourself a reasonable salary as a business owner with an S corporation? Are you keeping the IRS and the state agencies happy? Are you basically doing everything you're supposed to do? And I just call this eating your vegetables. Are you eating your vegetables? Are you registering and renewing your business entities and your payroll tax and sales tax registrations? Are you keeping your corporate minutes? Things like that. These are all of the sort of hygiene things that we have to do as business owners that we, as your CFO, can help advise you on and give you kind of that checklist of like, here's all the stuff you should be doing on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. Make sure you're doing all these things. This is your homework, right? Are you doing your homework? And this is the layer where we prevent or avoid as much as possible any pesky IRS letters or state agency letters saying something's amiss, right? Our goal is to make sure that you are consistent and that you're fulfilling all of the requirements of your role as a business owner. And along the way, right, with performance, with compliance, we've got accountability, right? We've got this executive accountability, which is truly so important for you as a business owner to have that person standing there and saying, hey, cash flow is not doing so hot this month. Is there any way we can inject a little bit more revenue? Is there any way we could defer out some of these costs or not invest in that thing just yet or opt for a payment plan to manage cash flow better? Asking these types of questions to drive results in these different areas. So performance and compliance. And number 3, which is the most fun for most people, is strategy. This is by far the most fun and the most interesting because this is where we get to leverage the tax law to our advantage and start saving you some money. But here's the thing. Most people think that hiring a CFO means that we can dive right into strategy, that you're going to get deep level strategy conversations day one. And trust me, if I could do that, I would, because I live for these strategy discussions. I absolutely do. But we have to go through the progression to get there, right? Your first day with a new trainer, you're not bouncing off the walls doing crazy shit, right? You're basically doing a movement screen. You're doing simple things so that the person can get to know you and see how you move and then program you based on that. So here's the thing. We have to go through each layer. We have to evaluate your performance. We have to make sure you're compliant. And once we've eaten our vegetables, we can then go play and have our dessert. You really can't have compliance until you understand your performance. For example, you don't know how much you're going to owe in estimated taxes until you know how much profit you're making, right? And then similarly, you won't be able to play with the different strategies that we have until you meet the basic requirements of compliance and the IRS is off your back. So we have these different dimensions, right? Performance, compliance, and strategy that we base all of our calls off of. We want to talk about each of these different things on every call with a client because these are the different ways that we can add value to them. And it's not always all strategy, right? It's not all strategy. We got to make sure all these building blocks are in place. But once we get there, once we get into strategy, this is where the needle moves. When you're working with a CFO, when you're working with a tax strategist, when you're working with anyone in your business, to do that with really good care and quality, there have to be multiple months of conversations, multiple months of meetings, and being able to understand in depth who you are as a business owner. What are your goals? Where do you see yourself going with this business? How are other people affecting it or other factors affecting it? Going through a proper analysis of where you're at right now before we decide how we're going to get to the next destination. So when we evaluate everything going on with our business owners as CFOs, these are the different ways we can do that. Now, I would love to know, which of these three areas are you looking to focus on more in your business right now? Do you feel like you are completely filling up each cup of performance, compliance, and strategy? Or are you missing a layer because you're focused on one of them? Are you playing small because you're only in the realm of performance? I would highly encourage you, go beyond performance, check the boxes in compliance, and then let's go have some fun in the strategy realm. Because that is where the magic happens. That's where you save money. And that's where you're really going to see a return on investment when you're working with a professional. But we have to get through the other two first. So tell me which you're focusing on. Share with me on Instagram, post this to your stories, a screenshot of this episode, and tag me at Shannon K. Weinstein and at Keep What You Earn. And I would love to hear your thoughts on today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.